that building, the most beautiful building of the 1920s by Alfred Alschuler. Now another Beaux-Arts style building is the tall building that looks like a Gothic rocket that is home to Club Quarters, an extended stay hotel, and this is by Riddle and Riddle. This is one of the thinnest buildings in Chicago, so thin at the top it's only 250 square feet. So that's more Gothic influence, whereas the London house is more classically influenced, as is the Jewelers Building, the building with the big dome on top and smaller domes on each lower corner. Now, this is by the same architect. Do we have any New Yorkers here today? Or if you are from New York, you know the Flatiron Building in New York. That's a famous, very slim, elegant building. Same architect for the Now, this had an interior elevator for cars. Cars could drive right in with their jewelry and be transported all the way up through 22 floors. Also at the top too, it was known as a speakeasy for some people that we, Al Capone among others, that used to hang out right there. All right, we're going from Beaux-Arts to postmodernism. That was 1920s, this is 1980s, because of course things are not in chronological order on the river, but we have this postmodernism with this building that looks like it's wearing a gray plaid suit. 1989, 35 West Wacker Drive was designed, and it is for Leo Burnett Company, the advertising firm that brought you the Pillsbury Doughboy as well as Tony the Tiger. Now this is in the shape of a classical column, so it's 1980s, and it's a more modern building, but it's reflecting history, and that's how postmodernism works. You'll see another one coming up after this bridge. And 77 West Wacker has a triangular rooftop and arched windows below it. Some people say it looks kind of like the Parthenon on a stick, and indeed it's got those neoclassical details. This is by Ricardo Bofill, 1990s. And so again, that's a postmodern building using a classical or a historical design. In fact, the lighting, if you come by at night, you'll see it lit up, and the lighting was done by the same lighting designer as did the Parthenon, and his name is Pierre Arnaud. All right, we've seen Beaux-Arts style, we've seen international style, we've seen some postmodernism, now we see Art Deco with a building that looks like a tall, skinny armchair. This is the LaSalle Wacker building, designed in 1930 by Holabird and Root. It's Art Deco, and it has stylized designs on those darkened elements we call the spandrels. And then that setback tower is actually in response to a 1923 zoning law that required buildings of a certain height to have their towers set back. So you see a lot of buildings around 1930 that look like armchairs, and that's why, as buildings started to get taller, architects wanted to make sure that their buildings didn't contribute to this massive kind of canyon look. So setting back those towers lightened the look of the tower, but it also brought more light and ventilation into the building as well. Now we're passing this whole river walk here, and this is a fairly new amenity for us. This part is called Water Plaza. We just passed River Theater. We're about to come up to the jetty. And this was created between 2014 and 16. So people really enjoy it. There are restaurants, gelato bars, coffee bars, etc. all along here. In the morning you see people exercising and running quite a bit, and then in the afternoon it gets very crowded with people enjoying it and also getting a bite to eat. This part, the jetty right here, you'll see people fishing at the end on these piers, and there are different plants that thrive on water environments here. I've seen those grow from absolutely nothing in just a few months. It's amazing. Now back to postmodernism. We have 225 West Wacker, the one with the portal-shaped vent and a flagpole coming out from the bottom. Look at the top of the building though. It looks as if there's a bridge connecting two bridge houses. So that's a postmodern building that's reflecting its context. It's reflecting all the bridges we have along the Chicago River. That was by Cohn Pedersen Fox in 1989. They also did the green glass building on the fork of the river here, 333 West Wacker. And not only does that reflect the color of the river, which shocking green, but anyway, it reflects the buildings around it. It reflects the shape of the river here. We call it the confluence or the fork of the river. And this is my favorite kind of day to look at this building because you see the puffy clouds reflected in it, and it's like a piece of artwork just looking at the building. And Kohn Pedersen Fox also did this blue glass building right after the train tracks, and that was 2002. It's got a 44-foot light bar on top and changes colors according to things we celebrate in Chicago. And it's also sitting on a historic piece of property that in 1860 was where Lincoln received his nomination for president. It was at the Wigwam Assembly Hall. Okay, we are temporarily leaving the main branch, going into the North Branch, which was by far the most industrial branch for the longest time. Over the past 30 years, it's become quite residential. You'll see a lot of old warehouses that have been converted, as well as new construction.